Good afternoon. Welcome to sunny Portsmouth. Can I tempt anyone in? Dawn Scouten, thanks. It is Saturday the 10th, 4 p.m. movement snack if you're looking on YouTube. Hello Italy, good afternoon. Of course, I think it's 5 o'clock for you, Italy, yes, I think. Okay, who's coming in? Who's coming in from the sun? Wales is in. I'm guessing Wales might have a sore back from all the gardening. Any other gardeners out there? My dad's out there painting today. He's doing lots of wrist movements, but only with one hand, so I do keep telling him. Fabulous day in Shrewsbury. Excuse me, crikey. We got some livers rather than some YouTubers. I'm loving that you heard the call. Who heard the magical call that only committed movement snackers hear? Audible only to our ears. Come on, let's say it's, I don't know, 2.5 minutes until the final movement fling today. I think we need a big stretch. Hello Greece, Greece is back. Hello. Who crowbarred in some hill raises in the day? Who crowbarred in some jockey lifts or chair rises? Audible by Alexa. That's very funny. Alexa, could you send me some heel raises, please? I haven't even got one. I didn't even know how she works, but I've just seen the adverts. Alexa, could you remind me to stand up frequently and regularly every hour? Could she do that? Is that possible? I think we're on a minute. Started something now, you're all talking about Alexa. There's just been a limerick come in, so just to kind of recap, if you haven't heard this, about 3 days ago we challenged the group to come up with some Make Movement Your Mission limericks, just to get me through this preamble really. So they've been coming in, they're quite difficult to track afterwards, so this, Vivian, I'm looking for yours from Bolton. If you could send me it again, that would be really great, thank you. Anyway, this one's just in from Wendy Southorn. Wendy, I'm sorry if I've pronounced that incorrectly. We'll do this limerick and then we'll go. Are you ready? This is hot off the press today. Here we go. Hello Maddie, hello Alison. Right, there was, sorry, terrible delivery. Let me start again. Stop. Hello Dee from Canada. There once was a lady called Wendy who thought she was reasonably bendy. But while snacking with Bex, she learned how to flex. Now her toe raises seem rather trendy. Made me chuckle. Thanks, Wendy. Okay, let's do it. Here's the... I messed up on the delivery. I'm so sorry. I didn't do your limerick justice. Teeth in the wrong way today. We're going to do our 4 p.m. movement stack. Are you ready? Good afternoon. My name is Bex Townley. It's Saturday the 10th of April and this is the 4 p.m. movement snack. It's the final fling of the day and delighted to see so many of you coming in for a 3-dimensional daily activity, challenging, related, flowing, stretching movement snack. Pick your position please, sit or stand. Sit or stand. If you know what's coming, please make a start. Lifted standing, active posture or seated posture, and let's start with our circulation boosting. This is just 1 minute or so, drawing a line under our afternoon, being more mindful about lifted posture, ankle, feet and toe activity, and a little bit more activity in the tummy here. So by that I mean we have a little bit of contraction through the tummy, lifting out of the hips, so I'm literally taller from the hips up. Lift and open the chest, and as and when you're ready, either alternate the arms if you still want use of the external support, like so, or bring in two if you're happy. Just keep that steady, just another 30 seconds on that, and here's the seated. Hip walk forward, hands on if you need. Remember, backside just past that centre point. Sitting tall, and circ boost in seated can start from the top end or the bottom end. So one or two arms together, or our usual lightly clasped just to guide the elbows back, or you may want to start on ankle activity. It depends what you've been doing in the rest of the day. This is just a burst circulation boost, just to reset posture, get us in the mood for some calming flowing movements, and then a stretch. Take a pause. Okay, in sit or in stand, pick your position. We're just going to do some weight shifting activities and bring in some calming arms and perhaps some head turns. So remember, in daily life we have lots of things happening all at the same time. So this may challenge your balance. I don't want it to greatly, so really use an external support if you need. We're going to layer in these movements just to lead into our stretch. So standing position, please. Let's do a recap. Feet side by side. We've done this one before. It's a steady knee bend and a stand. And the knee bend, it's as if we're going to sit. So I have this hip hinge that we talked about yesterday. This hinge position, it's as if I'm going to sit down, but I don't. And the knee bend is very small. And actually what I would really invite you to think about more is the extension more than the bend. So all the way up, I call it finishing off the job. So there's the knee bend, but finish off the job. The job finishes right in full extension. Continue with that, and then we can think about bringing in a floaty arm here. Now really slow this down. The arms come under the shoulder, it's not high arm. If you want to park the legs and just focus on the arms first, alternating arms 1 and 2 or 2 at the same time, build it up until it looks like this. And wrists are important. Continue with that. In seated it's the same. We're going to focus on the arm movements, aiming for both fluidly moving at the same time, same height and pace. It's not about height, it's almost about the symmetry of this. Slow, slow, slow. Now we're not going to have the knee bend in seated, but we can have a weight transfer. So 1 foot slightly forward, lifting out of the hips, shift the weight across the buttocks, and then we can have the arms here. Breathe, breathe deeper. I'm not going to tell you how to breathe. The main thing is you just do it. And just be more mindful of it. Okay, take a pause. Take a pause and sit, take a pause and stand, have a little sag. So we have some arm activity and we have some weight transfer, albeit with support. The next thing to add, if you would like, is some head turn. And that's why we call this 3-dimensional. So I'm moving in lots of different planes of movement. Now remember, when I start to move my head, that may challenge balance, so take up more support. So in stand, it could look like this. Take your time. And in seat, it's the same. So we've got our weight shift forwards and back in sit. Here's the slow arms, and here's the head turn. Now there's a lot of going on in all those things, and you may start to feel that something pauses, something stops moving. That's usual. This is a lot of stuff going on. So the best thing to do is just stop and build it up again. And it's literally just a couple of minutes just to be more mindful of what's happening with all those different moving parts. Okay, moving into the stretch, starting from the top half, and just before we take the chest stretch, sit or stand in tall upright posture, always support if you need, or hips on if you need. Can we just do a mobility check on where we are with range of movement here? So where can you get your hand to the ear, to the top of the head, or behind the head? Just have a check of where you're at. Now the head stays still, so how far can you move that arm without requiring any other movement from the neck or shoulders? And just be aware of that for now. So just ease the shoulder up, back and down, and see where you're at. Just release, have a few shoulder rolls. Let's do the chest stretch. So in stand, firm base of support. We can take the hands around, and it may be more comfortable to have the back here, and then from here the stretch is there. Now it's a really big press and squeeze forwards, as you can see. Maintain your normal breathing. Now you may feel that it's kind of uncomfortable to stay in that position and breathe. So for that reason, you may want to come out of that stretch, have a pause, and then go in again. We're aiming to maintain normal breathing while we're there, but it might feel quite effortful to hold this position. So that's why I say come out of it, have a release, and go in again, and build up this time and stretch over time. And this one here, we're just looking 8-12 seconds, squeeze and hold, and release. Now if that's too much stretch around the shoulder area, just leave your hands behind and just press there and squeeze your shoulder blades together here. Take a pause. Have a few of those, have a little bit of that. Let's take a stretch on the back of the arm. So bring the fingertips towards the shoulder and then ease the arm up. So this can be eased up with the other hand, or you can just walk it over yourself. And what you're aiming for here is for the head to stay absolutely still. This arm here just finds its natural stopping point, and that's the hold. Again here, 8-12 seconds on here. If you feel you can, this is just a couple of seconds now. Make sure you're sitting taller, and we can go for an extra reach right out, but then it comes straight back out again. You may want to support the arm coming down. In sit or stand, it's the same. Towards here, don't forget to do both sides, and you may feel that one side has more movement than the other. That's fairly usual. So here's the first hold. You could just give it some support there if you wanted to, or you can hold it free like so. This reach here is slightly forward of the body, slightly forward, it's a big squeeze out, and then comes down. And have an extra squeeze and shrug. Okay, I'd like to put one more in here. It's the opposite to the chest stretch. So when we take a chest stretch, we squeeze the shoulder blades together here. Now the opposite of that is to stretch open the shoulder blades. So we go from this position, but now it's there. But I'm not leaning forwards. Can you see? I'm here, there. So the stretch is there. And it just starts to release the upper back. I'm still lifted, release down. So you're coming from a chest stretch, kind of squeezing behind, to extending forwards. That should feel quite nice across the top of the back. Okay, we're down on the subject of the back of thigh stretch. And we talked a lot about this yesterday and where we want the hip and the pelvis position. So let's talk through that again. It really depends on your leg length and your chair for this, and you're going to have to find your way around it. The most important thing to really find this stretch is this position of the pelvis here. So the first thing, we place the leg extended. It could be up on the heel, or it could be foot slightly down, as long as it can be, and unlock the knee just a little bit. Now from here, I need to shift So I really shift the pelvis up, and the feeling is almost as if I'm kind of hollowing your back slightly to lift up out the hips. And then from here, I hinge forwards. And I keep hinging and still until you feel the tension on the back of this leg. If you can't feel it, there's only two things you can do about that. Adjust this position of the hips, because if you're sunk down here, you're not going to feel it. So it's either the adjustment here or the hinge here. Those are the two factors in finding this stretch. Slowly come out, slow, 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 step in and release. The same on the other leg. Let's have a go. Into position. Now, I want to say at this point, I'm talking a lot about progressing this stretch, but also aware that it's such an important stretch. And if you spend a lot of time seated for whatever reason, it won't take much to find this stretch either. So I want to take a step back as well. So the legs, we're on the other leg, but I'll do this one so you can keep seeing what's happening. Once the leg is extended and once we lift out of the hips here, that stretch may already be on for you. And if it is, I stay upright. Find the stretch and hold, and this is the one we want to hold a little bit longer over time, from 8 seconds to 12 to 20, even maybe 30, but it's still okay to come in, have a little rest, and go back into that stretch. So you may need to break it down into smaller bite-sized periods of time. The foot is important. If your foot is very, very, very flexed, and active, you're going to get a stretch down in the calf and behind the knee, and that's not what we want yet. So that's why that foot needs to be relaxed and the knee needs to be a little bit bent. Lifting up. If you can't feel it, yes, by all means come through, come down, and you can see this is the stretch we need to be able to get down to lower level, feet, toes. Can you see I've got this arm here, I'm still supporting my back if I need to help me get down there. And this would be a classic everyday activity to get down to here, wouldn't it? Slowly come back. Okay, calf stretch time. In seated, it's the one I've just mentioned. So the leg goes out, the toe comes back. As the toe comes back, the heel presses forward, so it's kind of really there, and there is the stretch on the back of the calf. If your ankle mobility doesn't have that much movement, it may be difficult to find this stretch in seated for that reason. So we just need to keep to persevere with that, or take it in standing. Let me show you now in stand, and this can still be with lots and lots of support. Hands on for support. We take the backward step and press the heel down, heel down, heel down here. I can do this with loads of support in stand. I'm going to move this chair. Here, toes are forward, coming up tall, and then I've got this extra stretch down the front here. And again, if we spend lots of time in seated, this is the bit that can become quite chair-shaped. So if you are able and in a position to stand and be steady and stable, standing calf stretch is going to be more effective for you. Slowly release and step in. Let's take the time to turn around, using that support, and then feel for the floor with the back foot and peel that heel down. And the front leg is a little bit bent. If you can't feel the stretch on the back of that foot, we go a little bit further here. And it's important that the toes are forward, lifted open, big stretch here. This is where, if you want to, you can add in your upper side stretch here as well, and you get an even bigger stretch down the side there. Slowly relax and release. How does that feel? 4 p.m. snack done. Stretched. The stretches just take time to find. We're all kind of very different. And there's these key prompts to get us in position. Then you just need to explore that a little bit more. Someone's asked a question about the front of thigh stretch here. It's a little bit more complex, that one, because it requires balance and it requires us standing on one leg, or it requires us laying flat on our tummies. Okay, maybe I can explore that in the next couple of sessions. Okay, we're done. 30 minutes of movement minutes in the bag. Tomorrow is tomorrow is Sunday. So appreciate you may have many other plans tomorrow. I know it's an important weekend, an important day tomorrow for many people. So I'll be here at 8 as normal. Hope to see you here for the 8 a.m. movement snack. Thank you everyone, well done. Keep on moving, every movement counts. Keep the limericks coming. Keep telling us why you keep coming back to these sessions, and keep telling us and sharing your successes. Really important to us, and it's great to see you all. Happy Easter. Oh look, just seen this. Happy Easter. All right, go away. Go and have a nice evening. Bye for now.